Welcome back to Pride. Today we're going to be going back to the basics. Over my 20 years of training, I always go back to the basics. It's very important for a fighter, no matter what level fighter you are. Whether you're an amateur boxer, amateur MMA fighter, or a world champion. It's always important that you go back to the basics. When I say back to the basics, I mean the first techniques you learned. Balance, fighting stance, throwing the jab, throwing the 1-2. Okay, it's real important for fighters always to go back to the basics. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to learn new skills. But going back to the basics is what makes the difference between your jab and your opponent's jab. Your 1-2 and your opponent's 1-2. When you have that edge in speed, you'll see the difference it makes. So here we're going to start off shadow boxing just to warm up. We're going to use the jab. The jab starts all combinations. The jab gets us in close. The jab does a lot of damage. So we're just focusing on throwing the jab, warming up the arms, warming up the body, focusing on our fighting stance. Now, for those of you who haven't learned to throw a jab yet, pay close attention here. Turning the fist as the punch goes. The hand is real relaxed by the jaw, able to defend. When I throw the jab, I keep the elbows in. I turn the fist. The wrist is locked. Now we're going to start adding in some more footwork. Use the jab to create opportunities to land other punches. Use the footwork to create angles. Using the jab to create angles. Angling out, trying to open up opportunities to land other punches. Always remember, head, body, changing levels. Once you've thrown a minimum of a couple hundred punches shadow boxing, you want to move on to a heavy bag or the century bob, any hard target, focus mitts. You want to start using your jab on a hard target. This way you feel the impact. So here I'm only going about half speed. I'm taking my time. I'm really working on my balance. I just decided to speed up the viewing for you. But it's good to take a nice slow round. Really focus on your balance. Really focus on your technique. And focus on your angles. Focus on where you are. Putting yourself in good positions for the next punch. Always remember that the jab is a setup. It sets up the next punch. So the more you put on your jab, the more difficulty your opponent is going to have to block that punch, the more success you're going to have with the next punch. The double end bag is a real important tool for boxers and MMA fighters. It's going to work on your timing and your coordination. Real good way to sharpen up the jab. So here we're focusing on our jab, but we're also getting the head moving. We're working on our defense, hand-eye coordination. It's not easy to land shots on a double end bag. That's a moving target. That's your opponent with real good head movement right there. So landing all those jabs is going to help you a lot when you're sparring in the ring or competing in the ring. Here I'm delivering the jab from different angles. I'm slipping punches, coming back up, resetting, and delivering another jab, okay? You want to be able to slip punches and then land punches immediately. The quicker your counter comes, the harder it is for your opponent to avoid. If you study the technique and watch as I'm using the double end bag, you can really improve your technique a lot. Focus on keeping the hands up, snapping the hands back, slipping side to side, working on that timing, working on that hand-eye coordination, working on that defense. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Rest of the series is coming real soon. We're going to be going on a lot more technique, a lot more basics. Don't forget, back to the basics. I hope you guys work on the jab. I hope you guys go back to the basics.